Welcome to our first week of the EC Leadership Online Series. My name is Connie Olshansky. I'm going to take just a couple of seconds to introduce who I am. I do all of my stuff with my little baby who's actually 5 months old. Hopefully he'll give us, he'll be pretty cooperative during our time together. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am, and then we'll dive right in. So I am a early childhood leadership coach, and I work with early childhood leaders to help them build a school of excellence. And essentially what that means is that all my programs and my leadership and everything that I do with EC leaders is all about helping them understand their leadership practice, their parent partnerships and relationships, how to do teacher accountability, build their staff morale, follow up with staff. Like, that is what I'm completely obsessed with, and really just helping the school leaders with everything that they need in order to build their schools. And of course, our little guys are ready. So sad. And we just got started. You can't be sad yet. We just got started. Okay. So I got started a little over 11 years ago in Preschool of the Arts, is where I was a teacher. And then I left Preschool of the Arts to get my master's in early childhood and special education. Oh, you are going to give us a run for our money. What happened? Mommy needs to do some teaching. Come, let's stay nice, okay? I'm going to do good listening. And then I went to get my master's in early childhood and special education from Mercy College. And in August of 2015, I started my business, Discover Ed, where I've been working with directors ever since. These are my 4 little kids. I have a 5-month-old who's right here, definitely doing some background music for us. And I have a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 7-year-old. So this is my crew. I have been very fortunate to been around the block, featured in a lot of different media and publications. I was lucky to meet Simon Sinek last year at a book review that he did. And I've just been really blessed to be able to work with so many early childhood owners and directors from all over the world. So it's really been a pleasure. With all that being said, let's dig into what we're going to be focusing on today. You little man, what are we gonna do with the little man who's so sad? Okay, let's see what we're gonna do here. I'm actually gonna turn off my video for a couple of minutes, and we'll just go with the slides, just the way it is right here, so I could take care of my little guy. Okay, so let's go over what we're going to be covering in today's session. So today we're going to be identifying what your leadership gap is, because as a leader, we have to consistently be able to identify what are our gaps in our leadership. Because if we're not identifying, where our gaps are and where we still have room to grow, then we're always going to be staying stagnant, or worse off, we stay comfortable where we are. And then we just get used to, like, oh, this is just the way it is. Like, I don't need to grow anymore. Like, this is just how it is. The second thing we're going to go over today is how to become more self-aware of your weakness, because weaknesses are a really important thing to understand so that you know how to leverage them as a leader. And we're going to be digging into all of that today, as we go through the content. And the last thing that we're going to be going into is how to lead with more confidence. So let me know in the comment section if these are 3 different areas that, or just let me know which one of these areas you're really excited to learn more about in our session today. So let me know if you're live there on Zoom, in the chat box, or in the Facebook group. Let me know in the comment section. So hi, Jennifer. Hi, Ann. Hi, Alexis. Hi, Jamie. Hey, everyone. For right now, I have my video camera turned off. I'll be turning it back on really soon. But it's great to see all of you guys. So let me know in the comment section. All of them, Tiffany. Awesome. It's good to see you. Hi from me. More aware of my weaknesses. Awesome. All right. Okay. Super. So the first thing I want to go into is really just understanding the shift that in general our society has made over the past 10 to 15 years. So the old way, like the way they say, like old school, is that you needed to have a leader. You needed to be competitive and you needed to compete in the marketplace. And more than anything else, leaders wanted to protect the status quo. It was all about everything's good. No news is good news. Like, don't break what's not, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And just all of these things about protecting the status quo. And now we're seeing such a different shift in that it's not about having a leader. It's about creating a culture of leadership, that it's not just about that you're going to be the leader. All of your teachers should be leaders. And it's not about competing. It's about collaboration now. And it's about getting everyone on board, and being able to collaborate and really see where everyone can add value. And lastly is it's completely shifted from protecting the status quo to challenging everything. So, this is like a really important thing to understand as we shift into some of the strategies and the different things I'm going to be sharing with you today. I want you to really see how we've really shifted as a society and as a culture in general. So Anna, Kathleen, Alexis, awesome. More confidence. Definitely understanding your leadership gap. Yeah. So important. These things are like super powerful. And it's just the thing also to understand, before I continue, is that whoever is here live and whoever is going to be watching the replay is that, just taking the time to focus on yourself is such a powerful tool already. Okay. So we want to identify 5 things. I'm going to share the first 2 things here, but in order to get started with identifying your leadership gap, you need to ask yourself 5 questions. So question number 1 is, what is your biggest motivation to come to work every day? So let me know in the comments, what motivates you? One thing, not a whole list of things. Tell me one thing that motivates you to come to work every single day. So let me know in the comments, what motivates you to come to work every single day? The kids, definitely. The kids. Anyone else? Anything else? Tiffany, to know you are touching lives, making a difference. The families, students learning and growth, the excitement of the youth, the learning bonds, the children as they learn to grow, the children. Awesome. Okay, great. So it's really, step 1 is identifying that biggest motivation that you have. Step 2, question number 2 is, how much time every single week do you actually dedicate for your own learning? Like, and it's okay to answer like no, it's okay to answer like I'm not sure. Like, realistically, how much time do you dedicate? Is it an hour? Is it a half hour? Is it like nothing? Like, how much time do you actually dedicate for you to learn as a leader? And what I mean by your own learning, as a director, your own learning means for your personal development as a leader. So it's not about, if you watch the webinar on how to put loose parts in the classroom, that's not learning for you as the director, because you're not in the classroom anymore. So your own learning means, did you learn about, something about boosting morale, or strategies on productivity and time management, or how to have a difficult conversation? Like, that is learning. That's learning for you. And I find so many times directors are so focused on like, oh, how could we put in more like loose parts, or how could we put out beautiful provocations, or, how should we talk to the kids differently, or whatever it is. That's great, but you're not with the kids, the teachers are. And you have to know how to help your teachers, not help the kids. You have to help the teachers learn how to help the kids. So how much time every week are you dedicating for your own learning? Now that I've explained that, let me know in the comments. A small amount, not a lot, 30 minutes maybe. Definitely not enough, maybe 30 minutes, if even that. Yeah. Not enough, nothing close to enough, 30 minutes to an hour, 0 for leadership. I spend my time learning about the children. I'm a teacher, but I need leadership skills. Yeah, so Donna, definitely. So you're like in a different position. Like, this is really geared to the directors and to the owners, but someone who's in a directorship, leadership, ownership position needs to be dedicating, you know, a real substantial amount for yourself. And it's not about this massive amount every single week. It's also about the consistency. Are you doing it, you know, once a week, you know, or even once a day for 5 minutes a day? Like, you really want to have that. Not much. However, I'm working on it now. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. I love how honest everyone is, you know, just really like being realistic that it's not enough. Okay. So that's my second question. My third question is, do you focus on one thing at a time? Which means if you are sitting right now and you are, you know, doing a tour, or you are whatever it is that you're doing, are you focusing on one thing at a time? Or is your door a revolving door of requests? I need this, I need that. Sorry, my headset just fell out. I need this, I need that. You know, what is your, what's it called? How do you focus your time? Are you really focusing on only one thing at a time? So let me know in the comments. Revolving door all the time. I'm honestly all over the place. Okay, awesome. I love how honest everyone is. Okay. Focus, question mark, revolving door. No, I'm constantly moving, a million things, multitasking, trying to, sometimes someone always needs something. Of course, I can never focus on one thing. Okay. So never. Okay. So also just like look at the pattern of like how difficult it is as directors to really focus on only one thing at a time. And, you know, and I find, and this is actually something we're going to be talking about next week in productivity. So, you know, make sure that you're coming next week as well. This is a huge part about our leadership gap, where we think that we always need to be everywhere. We think everyone always needs us. We think it's like we wear this like badge of honor that we're always helping everyone and we know how to multitask, we know how to do this, and really it's running us to the ground, burning us out, sending us to complete stress management. And we're going to be talking about that next week in productivity. But I just wanted to get a quick diagnostic of, you know, I get interrupted, my eyes and ears are always watching and listening. Yeah, it's, you know, definitely you want your eyes and ears listening, but if you feel like you always have to be watching and you can't, you know, hyper focus, it's also part of the culture, which we're going to be talking about in week 4 on, you know, what kind of culture are you creating that you always need to be watching and you always need to be listening. You know, it's a matter of trust also. Like, do we have, you know, have we trained our people in a way where we can trust them that we don't have to have our eyes and ears open all the time? Okay. Question number 4. How would you rate the value of your day? So this, I love this question, because rating the value of your day means, are you doing the highest value tasks or projects in your day? Which means, like, is most of your day just responding to people's requests, putting out fires, and then kind of whatever hits you? That's a very low value day, because your time shouldn't be spent doing that. Whereas if your day was really spent the bulk of your time, you know, either giving a school tour or meeting with teachers one-on-one without being disturbed, helping them set their goals, running a monthly staff meeting, you know, joining a leadership workshop, those are very high value tasks because they actually have a tangible result and they're very much connected to building the school. Running around and just helping every single person doesn't build the school. It just turns you into a fire extinguisher and puts your school into cardiac arrest, because the school can't run without you, because they've all been, you know, trained that you're going to swoop in and help them. So let's put like rating a value of your day, where 10 means that the highest, like, you know, you are definitely the highest value every single day. You're really focused on very high value projects, and 1 being the lowest, like, you know, you really don't focus on very high value projects, or you've never really thought that you should be focusing on high value projects. Amanda, awesome. Yeah, I love that you share that. Like, didn't realize it till now. Yeah, and like that's one of the like amazing benefits of joining like leadership training, video series, different things like that, so you can start to get that awareness. Erica, 5, 3, 4. Yeah, awesome. Tiffany, awesome. Barbara. Okay, awesome. Thanks everyone for sharing. Perfect. So yeah, definitely more often than not, we find ourselves in the lower value tasks because it really takes a ton of discipline to really be focused on very high value projects. And we're going to focus on that a little bit more in productivity, but it's such a journey, and it, you know, some days are better than others. We're really looking for kind of the average of where you're typically spending your time. And lastly is, do you have routines and habits that serve the mission and vision of the school? Do you have a routine where, you know, specific routine of like, I come in, I do this because this routine is very focused on teacher appreciation or building trust or gratitude, or this helps morale. And I have these routines that I do to consistently build morale, or, you know, these are the habits that I have formed in my morning routine, in my afternoon before I do dismissal, so that it's very aligned with what the mission and the vision is. So this is kind of a yes or no question. Like, do you have any kinds of routines and habits right now in your day? Awesome. I try. Awesome. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Not enough routines. I think it depends on the day. Um, Definitely a fire extinguisher. Definitely working on it. Beautiful. So I do in the morning. Yeah, in the morning it's always easier. You know, it's like the diet starts in the morning, and then like in the afternoon when we kind of get that sugar low is when it's like, oh, okay, I got to eat this. You know, diet starts tomorrow again. So yeah, the morning is when we're usually really good with routines and stuff like that. Hey, Ashley. Okay, super. All right, so one of the assumptions, oh, did I skip something? No, okay. So one of the assumptions that a lot of leaders have is that everyone can learn to be competent in almost anything. And it is true. So it's true that anyone can learn anything. Like anyone can learn to be more productive, more effective with their time, learn better habits and routines. Like everyone can learn anything that wants to. Like if you really want to, you can learn anything. However, as a leader, you have to ask yourself, is that the best use of my time, energy, and resources? Just because you can learn how to put together a WordPress site, it doesn't mean that that's the best use of your time. Just because you can, you know, essentially I can learn how to run a Facebook ad, I can learn how to do social media posting, I can learn how to do whatever. That doesn't mean it's the best use of your time, energy, and resources, where it could be delegated or it could be outsourced or whatever it is, you know? So I'll give you like an example. I was talking with a director who was telling me how she really wants to start, she really wanted to start running Facebook ads for her school so that she could start building enrollment. So I said, okay, you know, did you hire someone to do that for you? So she's like, no, I'm learning how to do it myself. I was like, okay, well, have you run any ads yet? She's like, no, not yet. I'm still learning. So I said, okay, you know, how long are you learning how to do these ads for already? So she said 9 months. I said, 9 months? You can make an entire human in 9 months, like an entire baby in 9 months. And you are finagling with Facebook ads for 9 months? Do you know how much money that is that you spend to learn how to do something and you still haven't started running ads yet? How much do you get paid? 9 months is almost an entire salary. What is your yearly salary? That's how much you spend on trying to figure out how to learn Facebook ads. You're crazy. Go hire someone. It costs $500. So she did. Like, she's like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that. So she hired someone. The person did it in 3 hours, had ads running for her. The phone call started ringing. She started getting tours. So again, this is not a session on marketing or anything like that, but I want you to realize how, like, she did not realize how insane it was that she was trying to learn how to create her own ads for 9 months. That is crazy. So that's an extreme example. Like, I hope no one here would do something like that, spend 9 months how to do something when you can hire someone for $500 to do it for you. And then now you have all this time back. So really understanding that concept, like, is that something that's really the best use of your time? So just let me know in the comments if you resonate with that a little bit. Like, maybe you haven't done something that extreme, but maybe you've done something and tried to figure something out when you really should have outsourced it or delegated it to someone else. I know I have. I've made that mistake, you know, a number of times in my own business. And I work really hard not to make that, and really always asking myself, you know, what is the best use of my time, my energy, my resources, so that I'm not extinguishing and, you know, depleting the company. Yeah, for me, it's like major eyes closed. I'm like, you can make a whole human in 9 months. Like, what were you doing? Okay, awesome. Yes, yes. Okay, so definitely, like, we're all gonna resonate with this, because like we've all made this mistake on like different magnitudes. I would say like that's a magnitude like 5 billion, but we've all made it on, you know, a different magnitude. Um, Okay, have totally done that, especially when it's something I like to do. Yes, Kathleen, I'm so glad you brought this up, because this is where the trip up happens. It's because like when we like to do something, like we like to spend time in the classroom, or we like to do this, that's when we're like, oh, but I should be doing that. It's like, no, that should be delegated. You are the leader. There are certain things that only you could do. Someone else can do that. Okay, let me move on here. Okay. So let's go into the weaknesses, okay? When you know your weakness, it provides an opportunity for others with that as a strength to to contribute and be part of the team. So like, why is it important to know our weaknesses? And I'm going to get into a minute of like, you know, how to identify them. There's really two key reasons. Is that when you really know what your weakness is, when you really understand it, now all of a sudden you're able to provide other opportunities for other teachers, for your assistant director, for other people on the admin team to really contribute and be able to be part of this culture. And the second piece, which is like the best thing, is it keeps you away from frustrating yourself and others. Like, could you imagine if you were always doing something that you were really bad at and it affected all the people on your team? Like, everyone's like, why does she keep doing that? It's so annoying. You know, the other person could do it so much better. Like, let her just let go of that. And these are like the top two reasons. So let me know in the comments, one or two, which one resonates with you as something that you're like, yeah, you know what? If I really knew my weakness, like this would be a huge game changer for me. One. Okay. Awesome. So let's talk about some examples. I'm going to give you 3 top examples of different weaknesses. Okay. So the first one is, are you a starter or are you a maintainer? Okay. So for example, a starter is once the project is launched, the person wants to move on. They're done. They started this initiative with parents and now they're done. Like, next, I'm on to, you know, I want to start the next project. Whereas other leaders are maintainers, like they start things and then they enjoy maintaining it. They enjoy the consistency and the routine that comes with really following up and, you know, doing the work and showing up and having the discipline. So that's the difference between a starter and a maintainer. So the weakness is that you're not a maintainer. You're the starter. And that's a weakness and a strength, right? It's a strength that you like starting projects. It's a weakness that you don't know how to maintain them. So now it's like, okay, who on the team can help me maintain this project? Because now I know my weakness. I'm horrible at maintaining things. So ask yourself that question. Are you the starter or are you the maintainer? Erica's the starter. I like to start projects and then I pass them on to the teachers, and then maintain the teachers and helping them. Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. All right. One. Okay. Who is a starter? Who is a maintainer? Maintainer. Okay, again, like there's no right or wrong. It's just who you are. We have maintainers and starters. Maintainers, I love it. Such a collective group here. Starters. Okay, next one. Details or big picture. Like, does your calendar have proper time blocks and you work with a system, or are you all over the place? You know, so for example, myself, I'm very into the details. Like, my calendar has time blocks. I work in a system. I have a way that I do things. Like, I'm very, very organized with my calendar. Like, when someone could call me, but if I'm in the middle of doing, you know, content creation, or I'm in the middle of a phone call, like, I don't answer that. Right now I'm not answering calls. Now I'm working on this. I will, you know, respond back and call the person back when I'm doing phone calls, when I'm doing emails. So, you know, or are you all over the place? So I know already a lot of people answer that they're kind of all over the place. So let me know in the comments. All over the place. Starting to use a system now. Awesome, Erica. Details, big picture. Okay, cool. I have big general time slots. Closer to the date, I become more detailed. Okay. Excellent. And we're going to go into this more in productivity next week. All right, the most common weakness for directors: assertive or people pleaser. Okay, do you have healthy boundaries, and do you assert them to protect your time? Or can everyone come in and out whenever they want? Okay, so this is the most common weakness in directors, is the people pleaser that comes out, where everyone could come in, huge revolving door, whatever you need. Sure, you need this. Oh, sure, no problem. Oh, yeah, I'll give you this. Oh, you're walking down the hall on the way to, you know, use the bathroom, and 7 teachers stop you and you respond to every single one, instead of, I'm on the way to the ladies' room. I will be back, and then you can all talk to me. Like, I'm not even, you can't even process what they're saying on the way to the toilet. Like, as if you're going to be able to take action on anything that they said. Go pee, come back, and then listen to all the teachers and take their notes. Like, but in our desperate need to please people and just make sure that everyone's happy, we're listening to people's comments on the way to the toilet. Like, and I see this all the time. I'm in schools everywhere, and it's like, just go, just let her pee in peace. And it's crazy. Like, the teachers don't even realize. I'm like, she's on the way to the bathroom. Give her a minute. And they're like, oh, I didn't even realize. Like, you're doing it to yourself. And I say this to directors all the time. I'm like, I told every single teacher not to bother you because you were going to the restroom. All of them figured out how to stay in their classroom for another 120 seconds until you came out. And then when you came out and you were in your office, then they came to you. Magic. They all figured out how to wait 2 minutes. So you're doing it to yourself. So it's really about putting up those healthy boundaries and really understanding how to do that properly, which we're going to go into a little bit more in productivity. Yeah, mainly is like working on, like, just being aware of, like, oh my gosh, like, I am doing this to myself. It is not your teachers. It's not. It's all you. Alexa says, sounds my bathroom breaks. Yes. Awesome. Had to learn to be more assertive because my desk is an open area. Yes. Okay. Sometimes you could be assertive. My staff, staff can sometimes I stop interact with them. Tell them now's not the time. I'll come back to them. Yes. And that is putting up the healthy boundaries, trying to shift to more assertiveness. Awesome. Okay. Great. So I want you guys to take a break now. We're going to do a little quick exercise so that, you know, you guys are also going to walk away with something super powerful. I want you to think of one of your areas of weakness. We spoke about 3 potential areas. Like, again, I just gave you some examples. Like, there's so many. And we're going to be going into so many other areas of weakness and how to leverage them and how to really understand yourself at our live event, where Lolly Daskell is going to be going to that into, like, amazing detail. So I'm super excited about that. So right now I want you to take a second and think of one area of weakness where someone on your team has that as a strength. Okay, so think of yourself. What is one of your weaknesses that someone on your team has that as a strength? And how can you invite them to leverage this for the team? So we're going to take 2 minutes now. I want you to think about it and put it in the comment section, your area of weakness that someone has as a strength. And I am back. Baby finally calmed down. So I'm back in business here. Okay. Let's see. What is your area of weakness that you can leverage as a strength? Okay, paying attention to small details is a weakness. I have someone on my team that takes the time to fine tune and make the common area inviting. Awesome. So simple, Erica. So straightforward. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, let us move on. So I want to share just a quick story while some of you guys are thinking about that. So Jillian is one of our superstar directors in the Directors Inner Circle. And one of the things she was sharing is that I can't tell you how much I've been getting from the Inner Circle. I feel like a different person since I started in September. And then one of the things that she was talking about is that how much accountability is there and how, you know, finding that the work and reflection being done on my part is just so gratifying to be able to be held accountable to specific expectations. So again, like before she joined, Jillian was someone that had a hard time with, you know, the people pleasing and kind of solving everyone's problems and everything. And her journey has been incredible, just really being consistent and being accountable to taking action all the time. So we have someone here is weakness as being a maintainer. You want to assign your staff to help more. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Great. So let's go into our final phase, which is the confidence, how to get more confidence as a leader. So there's a very big difference between confidence and courage, and a lot of times they really get intertwined. So courage is about that feeling that you have that you're ready to start something new. You're ready to jump into that risk, because when you have the courage to start something, there's three things that come to it. Number one, you are completely uncertain about the outcome, right? Because you've never done it before, so there's so much risk involved. You don't know how it's going to turn out. Number two is you're not sure if you're going to get support. You don't know if your teachers are going to be on board. You don't know if you're going to get the support you need from the board or whatever it is. And finally is the response from your team, from your teachers, from your admin. Like, how are they going to respond to this new initiative? So it's not about having the confidence to do something. Here it's about, do you have the courage to take this risk and fall into the uncertainty, the lack of support, and the unknowing of the response of your team? So I love this quote about courage is the secret sauce that allows you to act despite your fears. And I think it's so much more important to have courage than confidence. And I know that confidence is thrown out a lot, like, oh, my teachers need more confidence, this one needs more confidence. But really what you need is more courage. You need more courage to take that risk. So let me know in the comment section if that kind of makes sense to you, and then I'm going to dig into the confidence, courage a little bit more. Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah. So it's hard because courage isn't easy. It's really hard to, stand against the tide and, have that courage to leap ahead. So Shani, who actually did our EC Leaders in Action interview yesterday, is one of the things that she was saying is that my biggest win is that my staff are more willing to take risks. This continues to frame our meetings, and I'm really excited about it. So one of the things that Shani's had a huge breakthrough in is really just having the courage to be more vulnerable. And that has really helped her staff take more risks and be more comfortable themselves, trying new things out and putting themselves out on the line, not knowing if it's going to work or not, And these are like simple things, like opening up your sensory bin for the first time, not knowing if it's going to get all over the place, if the kids are going to make a mess, if they're going to get a mess, if you're going to be able to deal with the mess. Like, that's a risk. That's really hard for some teachers who've never opened the sensory bin before. And you have to hold the torch first and, you know, lead in that kind of way. So confidence is really about the outcome. Courage is about, you know, plowing through, and confidence is about the outcome. It's the result of the discipline of showing up every single day despite the fear. You get confidence in something when you've done it again and again and again and again. Okay, confidence is looking for the proof that you're going to succeed. When a person is confident to get on stage, is because they have the proof that they know, I'm going to nail this on stage. Like, I'm going to do this. I've been on stage 30 times. So even if I mess up a little bit or whatever it is, I know I have the courage to, you know, move and be adaptable and be flexible. Like, I've got the confidence to get up here. And the thing is that we think we need confidence to start something, to get, you know, to have a meeting, to get on stage. You need the courage to get started. The confidence is what follows after. Teachers are more confident in the classroom when they've done it again and again and again. We've had the risk and they've tried and they failed again and again. Now they're confident to talk to a parent. You know, you need to have the courage to talk to a parent about their child who has challenging behavior when you've only done it once or twice. You have confidence going into the meeting when you've done it a number of times and you know so much already about how the outcome's going to be. Now you have the confidence to trailblaze into it. Give me a big yes if that makes sense to you. Awesome. All right. So these are some of the 3 biggest mistakes that directors make in relation to confidence and courage. Is number 1 is we wait to feel confident before we take action. We're like, I just need a little bit more confidence. I just need a little bit more experience, you know, before I do something. No, you don't. You don't need more experience. You don't need to be more confident. You need courage. Take action. Roll up your sleeves, get down and dirty, and take action. That is what you need to do. Not be more confident. You need to be more courageous and actually just do it. Leap before you're ready. Stop overanalyzing, like, can I do it? Is it worth it? Just do it. And then the second thing is we think we're the only ones going through this. We're like, oh, I'm the only person that's struggling with this. I'm the only person that doesn't know how to do this. No, you're not. You're not. There's so many other directors that are going through the exact same thing that you are. And, you know, getting into a supportive community of early childhood leaders that are on the same road as you is so powerful, so powerful. Awesome. Hey, Rachel. And then the last thing is we think that failing means we didn't have enough confidence. Like, oh, I didn't have enough confidence, or I didn't have enough experience. That's why I failed. Nuh-uh. You failed because whatever, it didn't work out this time, or, you know, you need to tweak it differently or whatever it is. It's not you don't have enough confidence. That's not why it failed. So let me know 1, 2, or 3. Which of these mistakes do you resonate with? One. Yeah. Thanks, Amanda. Two, honestly, 2 and 3. 2. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, super big mistakes. And Anne, who's an awesome director, and she's actually going to be coming to the live event in June, where we're going to be mapping out our year in 2 days. So one of the things that she was saying is, I feel more empowered to ask my staff to do things themselves instead of doing everything for them. I'm also able to work part of the day from home, and I've been taking more time to do director things. So again, this is just like such a massive breakthrough to be empowered and to understand how to really ask your staff to do things for themselves and stop feeling the need to please and just swoop in and do everything for them. So I love Anne's story of just how far she's come in that way. So, question for you. What is one thing that you've been putting off to do as you wait for more confidence? So answering my first question, what is something that you feel like you've been putting off because you think you need more confidence? Is it you haven't met with this parent, lead a team meeting? Awesome. Marketing. Yeah. What else? Meeting with a specific teacher. By the way, we do have the difficult conversation templates just about ready, so hopefully it'll be up and rolling by the end of the week. Accreditation, awesome. Yes, these are all things that we are putting off as we wait for more confidence. So as another question is, what is something your teachers do you think are putting off as they attempt to get more confidence? So, just like we do that, teachers are doing that also. What are some things that you think your teachers are putting off because they just don't feel confident enough to do it? Parenting programs, teaching meetings, marketing, conflict, terminate one of the teachers, talking to new parents about issues like biting. Yes, teachers are so scared to do that. Conflict, parent meetings. Yeah. Creating more intense lesson plans, parent-teacher conferences. Yeah, these are all things that teachers need more. They feel like they need more confidence. And really, it's also a lack of like a competency skill. Like if we gave them a better script, like, one of the things that we do in the inner circle is we have scripts for running parent conferences. And it gives them more of the tools that they need to succeed in running the conference, getting their classes ready for an accreditation visit, implementing more Reggio-inspired teaching. Like these are all things, sharing concerns with each other in order to solve problems. Again, that's creating more of a collaborative culture where everyone doesn't feel like they have to protect their own hide and like can't share, when they're not good at something. So, bringing everything all together here is really understanding that it's one thing to get started with all of this. It's one thing to understand your weakness, understand that you need more courage, just all the different things that we spoke about today. And it's just a whole different result when you know the consistency of how to do it, the strategy, and the blueprint. Because those three pieces have to come together in order for you really to get in order for you to have that breakthrough that you're looking for. So you can get off of that treadmill of being a people pleaser. You can get off of that treadmill of running around and solving everyone's problems and not having consistent growth and doing low value tasks. Like all of these things, like it's all got to come together. It all has to meet together somewhere. And so at the EC Leadership Live event we're going to be mapping out the year in 2 days. And so these are just some of the things that we're going to be focusing on. So one of them is what the themes are going to be for your monthly staff meetings. We're going to be talking about how to structure your calendar so you're consistently motivating your staff. Not just like, oh my God, morale's really low, everyone's really overwhelmed and frustrated. No, it shouldn't get to that. Like, how are you structuring your calendar so you're consistently motivating your staff? We're going to be talking about how to create standards in your school, how to introduce new programs so you get instant buy-in. Like when you introduce a program, you want to get buy-in. How do you do that? Unleashing the greatness of your team. We're going to talk about time management, strategies and tips, scripting of difficult parent conversations. Like some of the things you guys shared was like your teachers lack the confidence of how to run through a parent conference or a difficult parent conversation. We're going to be going through those. How to create systems you need for consistency and follow-up and accountability, and what you should focus on every single month. So these are just like a handful, drop in the bucket, some of the things that we're going to be talking about at the live event. The other thing to be aware of is that Lolly is one of the guest speakers at our live event, and she wrote the book The Leadership Gap, which is one of my favorite books. I read it twice already. It's actually going to be a gift for everyone that comes to the live event. We bought a copy for every single attendee, so I'm really excited about that. And Lolly is going to be going into even more depth on leadership. She's going to be digging into how to figure out what your fingerprint is, how to go through the diagnostic to understand how your actions are reflecting your team. She's going to be going into how to leverage your weakness as a leader. Like, she is brilliant. Superstar executive coach working with C-suite teams, and I'm so honored that she's coming to speak at the event. And she's going to be giving you guys like just a massive blueprint for just really high quality leadership. So I'm really, really excited about her coming. So again, if you're interested in more details on the live event, this is where you should go. So what I'm going to do right now is, I know that people always like to ask questions at the end. So I'm going to open up the floor now for Q&A. We actually have about 10 minutes for Q&A. So let me know in the comments section if you have any questions about anything specific that we spoke about today. So I'm just gonna do, again, just go back to, excuse me, our review here. We spoke about identifying your leadership gap, becoming more self-aware of your weakness, and how to lead with more confidence. So as the questions come in, let me know in the comment section what your action step is tomorrow. What are you doing in your school or in your personal life tomorrow as a result of today's training? Let me know in the comments, and that will be your declaration for you to take action. So let me know in the comment section what your action step is. And we're going to do about 8 minutes of Q&A over here for anyone that has questions on anything that we spoke about in the leadership section right now. Let me see if there was any questions that came in beforehand. All right, let me give one more minute here, and if we don't have any questions or anything that comes in, we will close that early. Be more confident. Awesome, but you got to be specific. You can't just be more confident. So tell me what your action step is. Like, are you going to, you know, practice something that you want to get more confident at? Are you going to embrace some kind of self-care so that you feel better about yourself? Like, what are you actually going to do to result in confidence? Again, confidence is an outcome. It's not an action. So lower how many spins my revolving door takes. Yay, Amanda, I love it. So you're going to diminish the amount of spins that your revolving door takes tomorrow. So your action step is that for every one revolving door that opens, you say no to the other. So it's kind of like every other one, or maybe one in every 3, you say, please come back, and hold that door closed. So just get really specific. Alexis, awesome. Set time for my dog training daily. Yes. Every week at 8:30. How many weeks total? Yeah, Amanda, so great question. Next week, Wednesday, we're again live 8:30 productivity. So it's 4 weeks. So next week is productivity. The week after is relationships. And the week after that is culture and environment. So we're doing 4 weeks of awesomeness. Self-care, knowing when to let someone else step in. Awesome. Yes. Yes, Amanda, good. I'm so glad you loved it. Thank you so much for the feedback. Barbara says, of course he wakes up, you know, as we're wrapping up, which is good. Encourage my teachers to have the courage to fail in their classrooms. Awesome, Barbara. Thanks so much for sharing. Super. So again, if anyone has any other questions, you can always leave a comment. If you're watching the replay, I respond to that. And if you're interested in just more details in our live event and really knowing how to map this out with like real strategy and implementation, check out the link to fill out an application for our live event. All right, Ladies, thank you so much. It's been incredible. So excited, and I really appreciate everyone that came live today. And I will see you guys next week. All the best. Good night.